Hey folks, Sean here, and in this episode, I want to talk to you about how to make consistent progress on your B2B SaaS product or business over time. Now, for me, one thing that I've learned is that I often have a lot going on, typically all at the same time. That's been something or somewhat of a struggle for me as I've continued to develop as an entrepreneur. Depending on what your personality is like, you may or may not suffer from something similar to a varying degree. Anyway, if this sounds like you may have a similar challenge that I do, which is how do I make sure I'm making progress on the projects I already have before I could consider potentially working on or developing something new? Now, the way I've been able to figure that out is because I'm aware of the fact that I get excited about new projects, is I've gotten better and tried to make progress on focusing on what I need to do first before I start something new. Something that's helped me do that is to develop a routine, as in, here's exactly when I'm going to work on what, any given particular day, week, month, whatever. It has to be, for me, recurring, as in I build a schedule into what I want to work on and when I want to work on it, so that I make sure that I have set aside time, specifically part of my routine that's on my calendar to make sure what I'm going to work on and when I'm going to work on it. That has helped me tremendously ensure that A, I've carved out enough time to do what it is I need to do, and that B, even if I haven't gotten around to doing what it was I wanted to do, the time on my calendar is blocked so that when I do eventually get there, I can work on it. So that might be something that works for you because it's worked for me and others who I know have wanted to kind of take on a little bit too much all at once. And that also ensures that I'm continually investing the time that I want to into the products that I want to prioritize. So I'm working on my podcast application, for example, and there's other products that I want to build, but I'm not quite there yet with everything that I want to button up for the phase that it's in. So I want to get those done first so I can start prioritizing some of those other products that I might work on. Now, if you're in a situation where you're working full time and this is just something that you're doing on the side, this may help you as well too. And the reason why I know that is because I'm also consulting at the same time. So I'm not building the B2B SaaS products full time at the moment. I'm building those part time. And but the majority of my time, I'm doing consulting and coaching work for people like you. So I need to balance the time that I have available to work on both my projects while I'm still managing those obligations as well also. So whatever it is that you have that you want to prioritize, if you want to make decent progress on your B2B SaaS products over time, I encourage you to get into and develop a routine and then to schedule the particular time for what you want to work on and when you want to work on it. Now, another tip here that I would recommend, because I've fallen victim to this trap myself as well too, is not to overcommit yourself. You need to be reasonable in terms of how much time you realistically have to dedicate to this, and it can't overwhelm you. And if it does, then you're just going to experience burnout, and that is going to require you to have to take a longer period of time off of working on your projects, which is going to thwart progress even more dramatically. So ensure that you are not oversubscribing yourself. And if you've developed a routine that you feel like is potentially overwhelming you, then plan to pull back and kind of shrink what you've committed to a more reasonable level so that you can make sure that it's more sustainable in the long run.